I'm reviewing the YouTube documentary Worth Repeating, a documentary about songwriting by Cassidy Hodges. It was created in 2010, but it still felt very relevant in watching it. The documentary features two songwriters, one by the name of Stephanie Lambring and the other named Steve Moakler. They're not names that I had heard of before, and I wondered how that would affect my viewing of the documentary. But I think that it worked really well to have two sort of unknown songwriters, and I'll talk about why in a minute. The documentary opens with a Moakler song, and a great quote about songwriting. He says, "Some songs capture a moment so well, you can smell summer at 60 miles per hour, or feel the cold steering wheel as you're driving away from someone you never thought you'd say goodbye to, or you can still taste the gum in your mouth before your first kiss. It's like there's 3.5 minutes for every moment that you really felt alive." And I thought that was the perfect quote to open the documentary. It grabbed my attention. I felt those things when he was talking about them, and it got me prepared to watch the rest of the film. The film alternates between interviews with Steve Moakler and Stephanie Lambring. Both songwriters talk about their process, and that's kind of the majority of this short documentary. Steve Moakler emphasized the importance of emotion. He talked a lot about emotion, and he discussed his own vivid memories of songwriting moments that come back to him when he hears a particular song or performs a particular song, which I thought was very cool. Stephanie Lambring focused a lot on taking her time in writing. She said that for her, pumping songs out quickly doesn't usually bear good results for her. So she talked about taking her time. Both artists talked about how sometimes they feel like songs just come to them, like they're discovering things rather than creating them. And this is something that I've heard other artists say before as well. And it's always interesting to me to hear this. I've heard it. I've heard writers say this before, songwriters, visual artists. So it keeps the mystery of creation alive a little bit. And I like that part of it. I thought that the film was very well done. The interviewees were interesting and they were talented. I think if they had been annoying or didn't do a great job of explaining their process, this wouldn't have worked as well. The video was done very professionally. I enjoyed how the music was woven in as well. And like I said, I enjoyed the music of both of the artists. I think it was beneficial not knowing either one of the songmakers or songwriters, because the project that I want to be able to do is to write a song. So watching this documentary about little-known songwriters gives me more confidence to know that it's not just super famous people that get to do things like write songs. So I thought that part was cool. I did think that the filmmaker was successful. She grabbed my attention from the beginning with a beautiful song and an interesting quote about songwriting, and she held it until the end of the half-hour film, which I thought was a perfect length for something like this. It held my attention the entire time with the two people that she talked to. I didn't think that the documentary needed to be any longer. I appreciated that it stuck to its original, or its intent, I guess, in having people discuss their process about songwriting. So overall, very well done, and this will be a valuable resource to me as I work on my project.